The World Cup is finally here. 10 teams will battle it out for the biggest prize in the sport. And the opening match of the competition will see holders England face off against New Zealand in a rematch of that iconic 2019 final. To set up that clash, we are joined by 1996 World Cup winning coach and WION's in-house expert for the World Cup, Dav Whatmore. Dav, the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, that memorable final 4 years back when it was absolutely heartbreaking for New Zealand. If we get anything close to that match, I think that'll set the tone for the entire World Cup, won't it?
Surely it will. We're all hoping for closely contested matches. Makes for good viewing, makes for good spectatorship if you're at the ground, good for commentators. But I can tell you, if you're anyone closely connected with any of the teams, you'd be hoping you're on the winning team, but you win by a big margin. Save the old heart muscle early in the tournament.
Do you think that Kiwi side, of course, I mean, it was devastating for them, the way they lost that match. Do you think that'll still be on their minds heading into this World Cup? Well,
it's natural to be on your mind. They won't say that because it's 4 years on and it's different, slightly different team, you know, and it's different conditions, different country. But it has to have a little thing in the back of your mind that the last time they met in a World Cup, that horrible heartache happened to them, and they would love very much to turn the tables.
Okay, you would have to say that England are the stronger of the two sides on paper, won't you?
Yep.
You've obviously picked your England 11 for that opening match. Just talk us through the players. I mean,
sure.
Plenty of talent to choose from, and you can see why they are considered by many as favourites.
Well, that's right. I've picked Bairstow and Milan to open the batting. Bairstow is the aggressor. David Milan is a little bit more circumspect, although he can accelerate as well. So you have a left-hander and a right-hander to open the batting. Joe Root, who's a very experienced ex-captain of the team.
Who's short on match practice.
A little bit, but I think his class is there. And he batted pretty well in a tricky wicket the other night in Guwahati and did well. He was not out at the end. Ben Stokes, we've talked to death about him. What a wonderful player he is. Another left-hander. Then you got Josh Butler, who is no slouch, and is the captain of the team. Livingston, another very aggressive player who bowls a little bit as well. Moeen Ali, another experienced guy who, again, another lefty who bats. Looks like they got right, left, right, left. Curran interrupts that. He's another left-hander. Adil Rashid, who I think is a match winner with his spin. Chris Wokes, I've got down there. If he does play, he'll bat a little bit higher. He's an all-rounder. But if he doesn't, they may go for an out-and-out fast bowler, Atkinson, Topley or Willie.
Yeah, just looking at that team, I mean, the kind of batting that they have is really incredible. They can bat down to 10.
They can. And I count 6 bowlers. So, you know, they've got a good depth without, you know, they've got strength in both batting and bowling.
Yeah, I know you're kind of bored maybe of talking about Ben Stokes, but you have to talk about him heading into that opening match. Of course, he was born in New Zealand. He's a New Zealander, and he broke their hearts. But he's not going to bowl in this match, but he's still such a game changer for them.
He surely is, and you know, I'm sure there'll be some plans against him, but whatever it is, you would want to get him early. That's the main thing. I think you need to be a little smart who you want to bowl to him early, and you need to be with an aggressive mindset.
Okay, New Zealand are no slouches themselves.
No, they're not.
Well, they've got a very good pace attack, and of course they have done well in major tournaments recently. But what do you think they need to do to hurt this England side?
Well, they just need to take that one extra step, don't they? If you look at their team, it's not, apart from Williamson, who may or may not play, they've got a team of real good, hard, disciplined players who work hard for themselves, for each other. You know, they really are disciplined, and they're pretty decent with their skill sets. But have a look at that. Will Young and Devon Conway. Devon is a bit more of the aggressor there. Kane Williamson, the captain, I've got him down at 3, but if he doesn't play, then I'm going for a guy called Glenn Phillips to take his place, and that may shuffle the order a little bit. But, you know, Kane is, he's the one big name in there, along with the last one there, Trent Bolt, who, you know, is world class. Mitchell, Latham, Chapman, all good players. Chapman, I figure, is more of a finisher who's going to work really hard and be right down when it comes, you know, between the 45th and the 50th over. Jimmy Neesham also is a very strong batsman who can clear the boundary, and they'll be looking at him to make a contribution, perhaps win the match. Then you got the spinners, Ish Shodhi and Mitchell Santner, who will take the ball away, both of them, from the right-handed batsman. And Lockie Ferguson to make up the fast bowling.
Okay, Dav, I know you've been doing your homework, researching on these two teams, and you've picked out certain key battles for this match. Talk us through these key battles.
Well, I think every ball's an event, and there's a number of battles along. But I've just come up with 5 for you. Here's the first one: Johnny Bairstow, who is a very, very aggressive player, and he'll be looking to dominate early. Now we've got the opening bowler who's going to try and stop that happening. So Trent Bolt will have to have the job of trying to get this guy out. So how does he do it? His success rate and his advantage is that he can swing the ball. So he has to rely on his number one weapon, which is the swing. But he can't be too straight. He's a left-hander bringing it into the right-hander. If he's any straighter than middle stump, he'll just be picked up and deposited on the leg side.
And we've seen Bolt trouble the Indian batting lineup over the years. In fact, the match, the 2019 World Cup semi-final, you can say was over in the first 10 overs when Bolt absolutely dominated the Indian batting lineup.
That's right. That's what he's capable of. So if he gets a bit of a run on, he gets Bairstow and then exposes the top order a bit early, that could be very difficult for you know, the reigning champions. But the odd bouncer as well, I think. The odd bouncer, fine leg up, square leg down. So mix it up a little bit, but his main strength is swing. He has to continue to do that.
Okay, what's your second key battle there, Dav?
The second key battle, I've got Devon Conway, if that's coming up. Devon Conway, who's another opening batsman. They want to set the tone when they start their innings. And I've got Mark Wood, who is an out-and-out pace bowler, given the job to try and make inroads into this New Zealand team. So again, Mark Wood's advantage, and he's got sheer pace. So I would be looking at him to bowl a hard test match length, which is a good, solid length plus good direction. You're looking to knock the bails off the top of the stumps. So that's his advantage, and I expect him to just repeat good deliveries with that length, with the odd one that comes a little bit closer around around the head region to just unsettle batsman, and he's got the speed. Nobody likes 150 plus kilometres an hour. He bowls consistently, so nobody's comfortable with it, so he has to use that as his advantage.
Jofra Archer isn't part of their squad, but he is travelling them as a reserve. If he gets into the squad later on in the tournament, that will be some pace attack. Okay, Dav, what's your third key battle?
Okay, the third one, if it's on the same order, is Ben Stokes. We come back to Ben Stokes because he's so destructive, and as we all know, he's an impact player, he's a game changer, and you would like to get rid of him early, as I said.
But what can Lockie Ferguson do to disrupt
I've got Lockie Ferguson there because Stokes comes in at number 4, maybe even at number 5, depending on the situation. So, you know, you would normally think, okay, spinners will be on, but I would rather hold back one of the fast men for Stokes. So Stokes comes in. I'd like to see a pace bowler come in and have a go at him. Now, with Lockie, I think you have to try and get him early, you know. So when any batsman come in, no matter how good you are, to try and get him, to try and play off the front foot is not that easy. But I'm not saying he should bowl full. I reckon he should be trying to push him back, back of a length, make it difficult for him. And then you bowl the odd one up to try and have him be very slow with the footwork, push the hands at it, and you never know, a mistimed shot in front of in front of the wicket, or even an edge back past to the keeper, may cause his downfall. Plus the odd bouncer as well. Early on, you've got to get used to the speed of the ball or the bounce of the ball. It's worth giving him a couple of short ones as well.
Yeah, well, Lockie Ferguson has gone for runs in the past, but he has the tendency to take wickets. I think they will have to make a trade-off there.
Plus also, Vidhu, I think, with all this stuff I'm saying, it has to be with a positive attacking mindset.
Yep, that's very important. Okay, let's move on to your fourth key batsman.
Well, I think Mark Chapman comes in here, a finisher for New Zealand. Now, he's definitely going to be facing the slower bowlers where he bats. And I've got here Adil Rashid and perhaps even Moeen Ali, two spinners who can come in and try and negate Mark Chapman. Both bowlers will not want to be predictive.
Yeah.
They want to be able to get the batsman to hit where they want him to hit. So I feel that maybe, they can bowl tight, as tight as they can, but you mix it up with a few wicket-taking deliveries. With Adil Rashid's case, googly, and with Santner, it's the left arm spin.
Yeah.
So, not Santner, Moeen Ali with the right arm, it'll drift in and then spin away. So they have an opportunity to, because they both turn it away from the outside edge of the bat, to maybe, even a stumping. A mistimed drive because of the way the ball spins. So I'd be looking for them to mix up their deliveries, not be predictable, and to bowl some wicket-taking deliveries in the midst of all that.
Okay, now your final key batsman.
Yeah, Josh Buttler, what another very aggressive guy, and essentially down the ground player. He's very good. He can play square as well, but he loves to hit down the ground. And again, he's a middle order player, so he's going to more than likely face some spin. And I've got here Ish Sodhi and Mitchell Santner. Yeah. So every chance that both these guys will be bowling at him, and they both also take it away from the outside edge. So that's an advantage. I would want those spinners to ask Buttler to hit the ball where they want it to be hit. In other words, long singles. Find the fielders out there. He'll go for it, but the more you can find the fielders and take a single, I think frustration will build up a little bit.
I think one thing that stands about this England team is that they've been given the license to attack. So the opportunity will be there for New Zealand to take wickets, because England play with a very high-risk game.
They do, exactly. And if they are not, satisfying their thirst for big runs, then they just may be frustrated enough to take a risk to say, no, damn you, I need to hit a boundary. And then, they try and contrive a shot which will bring the odd risk in with it, and you never know, it might be out. But I'd be looking for them to be containing and ask them to hit the ball to where the fielders are.
Okay, Dav, it will be very, very interesting to see how these battles play out tomorrow. But it's time to put you on the spot again. I'm going to have to ask you for your prediction for the opening match of the World Cup.
I think it's a no-brainer for most of us. I think England will start off with a win. You can't obviously discount New Zealand. They've been finalists for the last 2 editions of it. But I think England will start off with a win. Yes,
okay. So that was Dav Whatmore saying that England will begin their title defence with a victory. Thanks as always, Dav. We'll obviously be reviewing this match and every match at the World Cup. Keep watching WION World of Cricket.